All right, girlies. Hi. I am back. Welcome to What the Girlies Are Yapping About, our daily conversation where we get into the details of what the girlies are yapping about. Whether it's on the timeline, whether it's in the group chat, girl, we're going to get to the bottom of it and I'm going to give you my 2 cents. So, welcome. Now, the group chat is going off about the mid-year audit. Everybody looking up and they like, oh my goodness, July is here already. What have I accomplished? What haven't I accomplished? And some of y'all are asking like, wait, where is my vision board? So I felt like it's the perfect time for us to take a look at all of our goals, all of the checklists, and just kind of check in to see where we are. And we're going to do our own mid-year audit. So all week we'll be auditing different gardens or life. Gardens is what I call them. I'll tell you girlies in a second why I call them that. But we're going to be auditing different parts of our life where we take a look and see where we are. And I felt like what better place to start than the actual vision? The actual vision. Is the vision still the vision? So, my question is for you girlies is number one, do you know where your vision board is? Like, I know some of us are like, girl, no. I don't know where that vision board is at. I haven't seen it since I wrote it. My other question is for the girlies with us who do know where it is the vision still the vision? Is it actually your vision? Or is it a vision that you have adopted or that someone has given you? Stop the adopt. Stop adopting identities. Stop adopting visions that aren't yours. Stop adopting habits. Stop adopting routines. We're going to be choosing all of those things moving forward. You're going to choose your own vision. You're going to choose your own habits. You're going to choose your own routines. You're going to choose your identity. And how are we going to make those decisions? By having more context. That is the whole purpose of what the girlies are yapping about. We're going to be studying decisions that we make and providing more context behind them so that you girlies can make better decisions, whether those decisions are going to affect us today or tomorrow. So let's get started. Let me tell y'all about my vision. So at the beginning of the year, I had a vision that I knew I was writing a book. And I said, okay, I'm writing a book. And I know with the book comes speaking engagements. And so I knew that that was going to require me to go into these rooms and talk to the girlies. And I did. I did. I wanted to go into the room. I wanted to talk to the girlies. And I wanted to activate the girlies. You don't know how many synonyms I went through where I was like, yeah, I need another word for activation. Or I'm trying to portray to the girlies that I'm going to activate them. I wanted you girlies to leave the room that I was speaking in and feel so full and to have so much motivation and confidence and encouragement. It was like I was going to put a battery in your back and boom, you was going to take off. And so that was what I built my whole brand around was becoming this speaker because I had wrote this book and this book was talking about my framework and my IP and my thought leadership that I had on the decisions that girlies make. Now, if you have not already picked up, I spend an insane amount of time studying the decisions that the girlies make when they are trying to become someone that they've never had. So when y'all start yapping and y'all be on TikTok and be on IG and Facebook and y'all be just threading away and talking away, I pay attention because I want to see like how are we making these decisions? Why are we making these decisions? What is the underlying context of the decisions that we're making? Like what's leading us to make those decisions? So that is what I do. That's what I want to do. And I had the opportunity to go and speak in 2 rooms. And when I was in the room, I was like, okay, the girlies are here. They're listening to me talk. And it was fun. But I wanted y'all to talk back. And I was like, the girlies aren't talking back to me. It was like they wanted me to obviously provide my blueprint and to provide them some encouragement along the way and to give them the confidence and the community that they needed to achieve these goals that we're trying to achieve. But it was unfulfilling in a way because I wanted to talk back to the girlies. I wanted the girlies to come into the room and have conversations. And I wanted us to talk out decisions, talk through decisions, talk through what you were feeling. I wanted to give language to the feelings that having. I wanted to give language to what you were experiencing. I wanted to hear what your experiences was. I wanted to know who was supporting you and who wasn't supporting you. I wanted to know what led you to make the decision that you made, or what's stopping you from making a decision, what's stopping you from elevating. Like I needed to have those conversations. And some conversations I wanted to lead, and some conversations I wanted to be a part of. But I knew that I wanted to have those conversations. So very quickly, I decided that I don't want to be a speaker. I want to be a conversation curator. And that's the title I kind of gave myself because, again, I wanted it to be a two-way conversation. I wanted to hear what you guys were talking about. And another part of my vision that changed was success, right? And what my idea of success was. So the other night, I had this, I was watching House of Dragons, everybody else last night. And don't worry, we're gonna get to Rhaenyra and the decisions that she making because girl, she be making some decisions that I'm still like, why did we make this decision? But I was watching House of Dragons and I'm sitting there and God was like, cut the dragons off. I was like, what? Cut the dragons off. And I was like, all right, cool. No biggie. So I got up. I'm still doing my nightly wind down. And I had downloaded this app called Hallow, and it's one of those Christian meditative Bible study type apps. And what happened was is that it came on and it already has these pre-programmed study plans for you. And so it started playing a study plan for me. It was telling, and the study plan was how to pray. And I was like, well, I know how to pray because I be praying and crying and whining and begging and asking God all the time. But I said, you know what, we're gonna let it play. Let's see what they got to say. Maybe they're gonna teach me something new. Because remember, girlies, we're sponges. We're sponges. We're not rocks. We are no longer being a rock. We are sponges, meaning that we're taking in all of the information, and whatever we don't need, we just dispel it. We let it go. We take in as much as we need and dispel whatever else we don't. So anyway, I'm listening, and they was like, okay, get ready to close your eyes. So I close my eyes, and they say, imagine that God is sitting next to you in this garden, right? Now, imagine y'all, I've been talking about gardens in this garden that God don't gave me and told me to sow my seeds in, and for forever. And so they were like, make sure you're in this garden. You're gonna sit there, go ahead, check it out, be in this garden. So I'm in the garden, and they was like, close your eyes, and they was like, God gonna come and sit next to you, and I'm like, okay. He goes, sit next to me. So he sit next to me, and they said, okay, now ask him what you want to ask him. And I say, all right. So the first thing I asked God, I said, God, well, I know what I want. What do you want? And God was like, I want you to talk. And I was like, talk. I was like, I do enough talking. I do a lot of talking. And he said, no, I want you to talk. You spend a lot of time saying that you want to talk to the girlies, you want to teach the girlies, which is the underlying foundation. That is the foundation of my vision. He says, you want to talk to the girlies, you want to teach the girlies, but you, my child, are a learning child. You like to hoard so much information, so much of your gifts, so much of your talent, so much of your knowledge. And you say you want to teach the girlies, but you're not teaching them. You're not talking. You spend a lot of time trying to find the best intro, the best outro. What are the conversation beats? What's this? What's that? I didn't script this. I didn't script that. He was like, girl, you ain't got to do all that. He was like, now, don't get me wrong. Some content creators, that works for them. He's like, but you don't need that. You just need to talk. And I've showed you time and time again, like when you start talking and you just talk from, just your experience, and you talk relax, and you be here with the girlies like that. That's what they want to hear. We just want you to talk. We want you to talk and we want you to teach. But in order to teach, you got to talk. And I was like, oh, okay. And so then he said, well, so what does success look like for you? And now I hadn't thought about success since I had wrote my vision board in January. And I was like, well, I want the followers, right? I want the views, I want all of that. And he was like, okay, and then what? you just want 100,000 followers, you want a million followers, what you want, the views, you want the followers. I'm gonna give you all of that. Then what? And I was like, you know what I want is that I want to have impact. Like, I want impact. And I want 100,000 girlies to look at my video and say, you know what? I learned something today. Or, I felt welcomed in a conversation. She gave me enough context on a certain subject so where I have a better level of confidence, or I have more context about this subject where I can make a better decision. Like, I can make a better decision. I can make a decision. I'm one step closer to making a better decision. And that's what I want. I want to impact the girlies. Girlies, I want to come and be like, bow. Like, I want to smack y'all so hard with knowledge. I want to give y'all all the knowledge that I've learned, all the experiences that I've learned, all of the lessons that I've learned. I want to give them to you. I want to give them to you. I want to teach you. I want to talk to you. I want you to feel welcome. I never want a girl to feel like she's not cool enough to be in a certain room, or she's not cool enough to be in a certain space. I want the girlies to feel welcome. I want you to feel confident enough to walk the walk and talk the talk. I want you to feel confident enough to seek out the answers that you don't know. You may say, well, you know what? I don't know how to do this, but I know where to find the answer at. Or I don't know how to do this, but I know who to ask, or I know what to do in order to make a better decision. And that's what I want. Like, that's success to me. If I can really say, you know what, 100,000 girlies looked at this video and they walked away with something. You walked away with something. Even if you walked away just feeling like, man, she described perfectly what I was feeling. She understood how I felt in that moment, or she understands how I feel in this moment. Or she gave me the push I needed to step off the porch and try something I've never done before. Or she gave me the push I needed to stand up and be the visionary that I am and accept that I am who I am. That is what I want. So yes, the views. Yes, the subscribers. Yes, the girlies. All right. Because it's always anything and everything for the girlies. You already know that. Anything and everything for y'all. But that is what success looks like for me. When I can say I have 100,000 girlies in my community, and they know something, and they've heard me talk. I've taught them something, and they feel a sense of community. They have context, and we're having conversations. We are actively together researching and breaking down the decisions that we make when we're trying to meet someone we don't know before, that we've never met before. I'm right now in that moment, right? I went from being a corporate baddie who was going to be, I had numerous businesses, y'all, like so many businesses, like, yeah, DIY. I can DIY anything, right? Stationary business. I had created a skincare business. I used to do event planning. I used to do decor. I had took classes to be a wedding planner. I took classes to be a travel agent. Like, I have lived so many lives, and each life has taught me something different. I've gathered different habits, different routines, all of that. I got an MBA, went, did that, right now I'm here, and I'm a thought leader who likes to create content. I am a conversation curator. I am a girly who actively studies the decisions that early girlies make. And then I help you navigate those decisions. A lot of you guys don't even know that I offer pretty and powerful strategy sessions where, we can sit down and we can talk about the decisions that you're being faced with, right? We can talk about the next step. We can talk about what it's going to take the next step. I'm an author. Here's my book. Me, I wrote The Cost of Elevation. The Cost of Elevation is literally all of my stories, all of my lessons, all of my expertise, in what, 100 and it used to be 135, but it's probably not anymore. 121 pages. This is it. But this is not all of my framework. This is pretty and powerful blueprint. So yeah, these are the lessons, girlies. This is where it started at with me teaching you this. So did the vision change for me? No. I think the foundation of the vision is still there. But how I'm getting there as far as talking to the girlies and teaching the girlies has changed. The pathway has changed. So I want all of you girlies to take a step and look and see, just take a beat, right? Take a beat. But first, I want y'all to grab the book because I talk about this in the book. So the first chapter of my book is called Kill Your Ego Before You Enter the Room. And I think that was such a pivotal chapter, a pivotal time in my life. It is definitely based off of a lesson. It's a lesson that you had to kill your ego before you walked in the room. You had to kill your ego before you opened yourself up to try something different. You had to kill your ego, literally, kill your ego from yourself so that you can meet this person that you've never met before. If you go in there with this ego, you're not going to be a sponge. You're going to be a rock. So, yes. Chapter one, kill your ego before you enter the room because you need to be open to change, right? So kill your ego. And then I want you to also kill your ego because your ego is going to tell you that people are going to judge you if you decide to pivot. People are going to judge you if the vision has changed. You're thinking that people are going to judge you if you decide the vision hasn't changed. You're just moving slower than you thought you were going. You change your timeline. First of all, nobody has to give you permission. Give yourself permission. Secondly, nobody has met the person that you are trying to become. You haven't even met the person you're trying to become. The next thing is that it is okay. It is okay to pivot. And I'm speaking to myself. Mirror message, it is okay to pivot. It is okay to pivot just long as you don't park and pivot. You need to pause and pivot. Pause, take a look at what's happening. Take a look, check back in with the vision, check back in with your checklist, check back in with your goals. And if you need to pivot, pivot. That's perfectly okay. It's fine. That's totally fine. But don't look for permission. Don't look for support. Don't look for the feedback that's going to come back or the judgment, right? Don't anticipate none of that. Sometimes you need to isolate and trust in the decisions that you're going to take and the actions that you're going to take. You don't need everybody's 2 cents all the time about what you got going on. So I want you girlies to take a look at your vision and see, is the vision first really yours? Is it yours? Now, some of y'all looking at the screen like, girl, I don't even know what that vision board is. I don't know what that vision board is at. And I'm not even sure the vision is mine. Because again, sometimes we have adopted visions that others have given us, that others have created. Stop the adopt. Please stop the adopt. You're going to choose your vision. How am I going to choose my vision? Now, I'm talking to the girlies who vision has changed and you know the vision has changed. Now you're saying, well, what is the vision? What is the vision going to be? Because I think I outgrew that vision. And that's okay. That's okay. I outgrew that. You might have outgrown your old vision. This is what you're going to do. Now, this is the first time I'm talking about this framework on camera. This framework is centered around taking yourself on 3 dates. Okay. Now, before you go and put that drip on, come on back, girl. Come on back. Come on back. When I say take yourself on 3 dates, the first date you're going to go on, and we're going to just talk about the first date in this lab today. It's called the daydream date. And the daydream date is where you're going to go and literally daydream. You're going to daydream about the life that you want, the woman that you want to be, the life that you want to have, the job you want to have, the kind of money you want to have, the kind of clothes that you want to have. Girl, how you look, how you feel, all of that. I want you to go and literally daydream about it. Now, we know in order to go on this date, there is some prep that comes with it. So I want you to make sure that you have an abundance of time, however much time you need. But I would say you need at least an hour. I want you to have a pen and a notebook, a voice note, however you want to record what this daydream is and what this vision is that you see for yourself. Then I want you to put on your comfiest clothes, right? Girl, go into your soft girl era. Go get your comfy robe, get your comfy house shoes, get your favorite drink, whether it's something that's warm or something that's cold, whatever floats your boat, girly. And then I want you to sit and daydream. Now, No one can control this daydream, which means that there is nothing out of reach. But don't go too crazy. Okay? Don't go so crazy that you know that the things that you're dreaming about are just not going to happen, right? You want to daydream, but you want it to have a few realistic roots, okay? But I don't want you to think that anything is out of your reach or that anything is out of your ability to have it. That's the whole purpose of it. The purpose of it for you to dream what you will want at this moment in time, and how you want to feel. I want you to think about how you want to feel, how you want to look, how you want to feel when you accomplish these goals, how you feel when what are you wearing, right? What does your hair look like? What does your nails look like? What do you have on? Where do you live? Where are you even going to be living and having this daydream at? There is no limit, right? Again, don't think outwardly, but I want you to not have a limit. Don't think about what somebody else gonna say. Don't think about what somebody to give you permission to do. Don't think about what somebody told you couldn't do. Don't think it's too late. No, none of that. None of that is allowed in the daydream date. So you're gonna daydream. And again, you might daydream for 30, 45 minutes straight. And then the last 15 minutes, you'll start to write down what it is that you're actually daydreaming about, right? And what that vision looks like. So I want you to go and I want you to do that. Then, after you've created this vision, I want you to break this vision down over a year, right? Give yourself a year. Let's just start with giving yourself a year. Give yourself a year. And then I want you to then don't do a new vision board. I think that we need to talk about first how your vision board is going to look. Mine looks like it's a vision board I did put together, but it has goals that I wanted to do. I didn't do a lot of pictures. I didn't do, pictures of cars and stuff like that or whatever. But some of them I did, but not the majority of them. Majority of them were goals, but they were goals that I can achieve in a quarter. So I wanted to achieve these goals in 3 months, 90 days. And I told myself, like, okay, in 90 days, what can I do or what can I achieve to reach this vision? And every 90 days, I was stopping to check in on my goal to see what was happening, to pay attention to my gardens. Remember, I talked about the video in the beginning is that God gave us this soil. Everybody has this soil. This soil is so rich, so nutrient rich. It's that dark, good soil, right? And he said, go girlies and plant your seeds. Go on over there, plant you some roses, plant you some peonies, plant you some lilies, whatever it is that floats your boat. If you want some basil, do that too over there. But remember that your garden is going to require you to participate. So that means you got to go in there, you got to prune some stuff, you got to water some stuff, you got to take some time and spend some time with some stuff, and you got to check in with it. Don't be like me and went to, in my garden, whoever screamed the loudest, they got the most attention. So whether it was my finances or whether it was my career, whether it was my brand, whether it was my family life, whether it was my relationship, whatever was screaming, I gave all of my attention to it. And then I neglected my other gardens. I did not take as much time as I should have with checking in on each one of my gardens to make sure that it was good. Some gardens needed just some more water. Some gardens needed less water. Some gardens needed to just be started over. Like it was time for me just to kind of cut my losses, till the soil, and start over. So don't be like me. After you've established your goals, then take your time. Take your time and be honest about what is working and what isn't working. Now, y'all know I got a chapter in my book about that. So, I'm getting a little warm in here, girlies. Chapter 3 is called Elevation Requires a Funeral. And also, chapter 4 is about loyalty. And it says loyalty will cost you. So, chapter 4, highly, highly, highly recommend because chapter 4 talks about how loyalty will cost you. And what does that mean is that staying loyal to a vision that you no longer want or staying loyal to something that isn't working It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you time. It's going to cost you results. It's going to cost you energy. And child, we know girls don't like to lose no time because time is money. And we don't like losing our money either. So don't be loyal to something that isn't working, right? Don't be loyal to it. Also know that in the chapter 3, elevation requires a funeral. And what I mean is that sometimes, you may be looking at your vision board and you may say, man, let's say your vision is become a 5 a.m. gym girly. And you be like, um, I cannot be a 5 a.m. gym girly because I'm a night owl, right? I'm a night owl. I can't be a 5 a.m. gym girly. Well, might be time for you to kill the night owl. Because if you want to be a 5 a.m. girl, then you got to get some rest. You got to go to sleep. There's no way you're going to be able to have an active gym life running off of fumes. It's just not going to happen. So something has to die, right? A funeral has to happen, whether it's a habit, a routine, an old identity, an old way of thinking. Girl, something got to die. If you want to go up, you got to take some of those weights off of you. You got to take some of those weights off of you, right? So that's just how it is. Now, that is what I would challenge you to do today is to take a look at your vision, revamp the vision. Don't be afraid if the vision is not the same. And if the vision is the same, okay, great. Now you need to make sure that the pathway is still the right pathway for you because there's more than one way to skin a cat. We all know that. So while my vision didn't change, the foundation of it didn't change, the way I'm going about it did. So originally I was going to be this speaker and going in these rooms and talking about my book and doing these speaking engagements. And instead, I decided that I want to do conversations. I want to do conversations like now on YouTube Live. I want to build a community so the girlies can come and talk to their peers. I want to provide context. I want to provide context on a lot of different subjects. I don't want to just talk about um, confidence. I want to talk about being soft and strategic and pretty and powerful. I want to teach the girlies how to do side hustles, right? What kind of side hustles? Well, let me show you what I do if I had to do a side hustle. I want to teach the girlies and give them context about living in a high rise. What's my favorite products to do my skincare on? Like, I just want to provide context and teach the girlies so that they can make better decisions. So while again, the vision probably didn't change that much, the foundation of it, the pathway did. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with pausing and pivoting. And that's what this week is about. It's about pausing and then pivoting if necessary. And also participating. We have to participate. When we get to day 3, where we're going to talk about our finances, that may be something where a lot of you girlies are going to be like, I don't want to talk about that yet. But it's going to be necessary. We have to participate so that we can decide what this needs. What is the vision? Is our financial situation supporting the vision? So, some of you guys might want to do that, but you're going to have to participate. You're going to have to prep. So now that you know what this week is about, I want you girlies to prep. I want you girlies to start to think about it. We're going to talk about friends. We're going to talk about finances. We're going to talk about the actual goals and if we're going about the goals the right way. And then we're going to talk about like what are the next steps? Like what is the next steps after we do our mid-year audit? Like what are we going to do after that? Because we can talk about it all day and I can teach you girlies all day, but we need a plan. So we're gonna plan. We're gonna plan together and decide what are the next steps. I'm going to show you how I planned and how I planned my next steps and provide more context so you can make better decisions. So that's all to come. So your prep work is to do the pre-work. Take a look at your finances. Take a look at your friends. Take a look at your goals and be ready to have those conversations and to apply the things that I'm teaching you. Be ready for that. I want you girlies to pray. I want you girls to go and pray about what we're about to embark on. Ask God to give you the courage. Ask God to clear the pathway. Clear the pathway so that you can see clearly and you can walk clearly. I want you girls to pray and ask God for grace and to give yourself grace because I'm not here to beat up on you and I don't want you beating up on yourself either. We're not here for that. We're not doing any of that whole, girl, you shouldn't have spent, $8,000 at Sephora yesterday. Girl, you did as you did it. What's next? What are we going to do to get the $8,000 back? how are we going to plan? What's the plan to be able to make more money than you spend so that you can have an $8,000 day at Sephora and not feel bad about it? What is the plan? So I want you guys to think about the grace that we're going to have. Pray about grace. And then I just want you to pray for clarity. Pray for clarity and pray for openness. Be open to this conversation. I want you girls to get ready to participate. Participate. A lot of times we just want to sit on the sideline and take everything in. I used to be one of those girlies. Like when we used to have gym class, I would go and I would do whatever, learn the lesson, learn how to play basketball, volleyball, softball, whatever. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit on the sideline. They'd be like, oh, you don't want to come and play and try? Mm-mm. Nope, nope, nope. I don't want to participate. And I used to fail gym. They used to be like, no, participation zero. All you want to do is just learn, 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 but you don't want to participate and you don't want to practice. We don't want to practice. Hear me clear, girlies. We don't want to practice because we don't want to fail. Fail. We're afraid that people are going to judge us. We're afraid people are going to laugh at us because we don't know what we're doing. We're afraid that people are going to give us give us their 2 cents, and that their 2 cents are going to be much more louder and are going to have more value than all the money that we ever could put into it. And that is a problem. That's a problem that all girlies are experiencing right now. That's why we're scared to make decisions, because we're like, is this the right decision? Is this the wrong decision? If it is the wrong decision, what if I make another wrong decision? Then what if I make another wrong decision? First of all, no, 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 no. We are going to build up your confidence to where you are confident in the decisions that you're making. I have been through some SHIT this week. But I will tell you one thing, I have never felt more confident in the decisions that I'm making. Never have I felt this level of confidence. People always think, confidence is about, yeah, I'm pretty and I can get what I want and looks. Confidence also comes from the inside, just inside. And um that's what I'm here to teach you girls as well. And confidence comes from having context. My whole brand, Pretty and Powerful. People think, the pretty, they get caught up on the pretty, right? Because y'all know I love to dress, I love to do makeup and nails and red lipstick and all the other kind of good stuff. And they say, okay, well, that's the pretty and powerful. No, the pretty is really on the inside. I feel like when you feel good on the inside, you look good on the outside. It's like, it reflects from the inside. And the pretty comes from the level of confidence that you have. But the confidence comes from having context. You have the knowledge to make better decisions. You have the knowledge to know where to go look for information that you don't have. You have the courage to go and look for information that you don't have. You have the courage to practice. You have the courage to fail. You have the courage to try things without needing permission. And so that's where the pretty comes from, and that's where the powerful come from. The powerful comes from the decisions that you're making. You feel so powerful, and you really just like, I got this. Like, I know what to do. I know what the next steps are. Yeah, I took a stumble, but I'm good. I know what to do next. So, um, I think that that's what you're going to have to understand, that you're going to have to practice, and then you're going to actually have to play. And that's where the end of the week is going to come in at, is that after we did this mid-year audit, now what? We've audited, we've found the issues, we've talked about the issues. Now what? Now we're going to play. We're going to go and we're going to either revise our vision, or we're going to revise our goals. And if we don't need to do either or, then we're going to be here to support the other girlies. Right? You may have some information that another girlie could use. So don't be afraid to go in the chat and talk in the chat, or, provide your information, or be in the comments later on. Girl, we're here for community. Remember, community, conversations, and context. That are the three main focuses of me and the girlies and Amp in the Details, is to provide that. So I hope you girlies enjoyed day one. I hope you guys remember your homework. Your homework is to go and either you're going to look for your old vision board and revisit it and see, is the vision still the vision? Make sure it's the vision that you chose and not somebody else chose. And then you're going to go and you're going to decide, do I want a new vision? Or do I just want to change the path to get to this vision? Or do I even need to do either? If you don't, Again, invite another girly. They may be able to benefit from this conversation and be able to benefit from the knowledge that you have or the experience that you have. Don't forget to grab your copy of The Cost of Elevation. The Cost of Elevation is my personal collection of stories and lessons and reflections of what happened when I decided to become an active participant in my own glow up. Period. Like, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss a detail. And I will see you girlies tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Bye.